Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first podcast ever. I'm just kidding. I'm lying to you. It's going to be our first podcast under our new name, though. Smoke, Chill, and Chit Chat. Because I told someone, I was like, all I want to do is smoke, chill, and then I talk a lot. So Chit Chat just kind of came up, shot out of my mouth, and I thought it sounded nice. I thought it had a good ring to it, and then so hi everyone, I'm Joe. Welcome back to podcast. This is still a new thing for us. My girlfriend's here riding solo shotgun.
Hello, I'm back here. I'm definitely present, and yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so we're just kicking this off. I don't know how to kick it off other than we gotta kick it off the proper way. So there's a number of topics on my mind, and I was telling my girlfriend, I want to talk about all kinds of things. So now that we're recording, all those things, of course, are escaping me, and they're just like, so I think I'm just gonna do my thing, which is normal, and it's just live by the seat of my pants, or I just make things up off the top of my head. So I have a huge imagination, and we already did a video kind of on art and imagination. But I mean, I could talk about anything all day. So I think as far as the next thing to talk about, just like in natural succession, is like like, do you believe that we are just like computers running
Mm,
programs?
mm.
Like when I double click a window and it's like frozen and starts loading, are we the computer? Like what is loading? What is am I a computer loading?
And that reminds me of like what came first, the chicken or the egg? And it's like, are we creating computers in our image? Like AI is
AI,
coming.
yeah, AI. Say
Yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah. Say its name. Say its name. Don't be afraid.
Artificial intelligence.
Don't
It's
be afraid of
what,
computers. You
like,
just unplug them.
we're building, right? And if you think about like how we store information in ourselves and in our body
Excuse me.
through our DNA, through our structures,
Okay.
it's like information that's built and then,
Information and stored,
yeah,
right?
stored.
Passed on to the next
Mm-hmm.
generation. We are old computer programs. Well, I mean, like, so what are we? So like we're like the new hardware, and we have like ancient software downloaded inside of us, like that no one knows how to access.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like
like
in a
plant.
folder that's hidden in a folder, hidden in a folder.
It's like our body's technology. We wear it, we carry it, and plants
Are
have
we even
certain
aware of it though? Are we
technologies.
aware of our own tech? Like, imagine if like, okay, like I mean, if you didn't know you can hold your breath. Like, let's just say you didn't know you could hold your breath, and you
Mm.
were chilling next to water, and you're looking at, and you just saw someone jump in and just start swimming, and you were just like, what? Like, what? How did he do that? Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know where I took that, but I'm getting really high. So, it's kind of like fish out of water. Like imagine being the first fish swimming and then seeing your homie just jump
Mm.
out of the water,
Yeah.
and you're just like, what just happened? And then you never see him again. That fool's on land for the rest of his life. And then
Interesting.
now we are that fish. I mean, what are we? That's what I'm.
Yeah.
We're gonna title this one just like what are we? Because I mean, you could get into all these things where people say like, "Oh, we're just somebody's dream. We're just somebody's figment of somebody's imagination, and they're just gonna wake up any second." And when people say that to me, I look them in the eyes like this, and I just go,
Mm.
"No, fool. We know it's not. We could eliminate that one." Because as far as like being someone else's dream, I feel like that just it sugarcoats everything too much. Everything's
Mm.
somebody's dream, so then nothing's real. And it's
Yeah.
like, let me slap you across the face, and then be like, okay, nothing's real. It's like, I mean, I guess pain is real. So I think
Mm.
pain ties us to this reality. Imagine if, I mean, and there's people out there, I've heard of this, where they don't feel pain. Like, like maybe they could get cut or maybe they
That
could break
must
their
be
arm.
super rare.
Well, yeah, and they don't feel pain. It doesn't register. I mean, what
Mm.
is pain? What is pain? It's a
It's
signal
inform.
from your
Yeah.
body, right?
Yeah.
It's information. Dude, it's just full circle with this information thing. because you were talking about us having DNA, you
Yeah.
know, and I've seen a lot of videos online and I've read some books, so I know some things. And I think, someone said it best. I'm going to quote, Sadhguru, and he says, your grandmother's nose is sitting right there on your face.
Mm.
It's like ancient technology. It can breathe, like your
Mm.
nose breathes air. Like we don't really need a nose, but it has smell technology.
Yeah.
It has something like you could smell, moldy cheese, and maybe not to put it to your mouth before it enters your mouth. Like what I'm saying, like the nose tech. I take it back. I'm glad we have noses.
It's pretty cool, like being able to breathe out at like two different like places.
Like imagine if our ears could breathe. Like just imagine, like, oh yeah, it's a natural thing. Our ears are hooked up to breathe because of, back in the day we had to get over water and our ears needed to breathe. Like we still have gills. Like imagine if it was like we have gills and we have tails and like all like. What are we? Like, what are we, right? We're people. You could say, like, that, and then we could go back to the Bible. We could go back to, Genesis, where it's like, I mean, God said, let there be light. And so I've always tripped out. So I said, what was there before the light? Like what,
Mm.
when I read a story and it says in the beginning, the first question that pops into my head is what happened before the beginning, and also what happens at the end of this book. And I will just flip to the last page, to the last sentence, and I'll read whatever happens. Someone dies, something happens, something that I have no reference to. It's like contextually just cut out from the back of the book. I read it and then I go back to the beginning, and I know where I'm
Mm.
going to. Like I know where the road ends at least. And it's this weird thing of doing that to different books when I was younger growing up. I would read the last page, I would read the last chapter, or I would read the last sentence or something to get like a frame of reference of when how it ends. So then I could go back to
Mm.
the beginning
I
and
didn't do
read the
that
whole
with
book.
books. I didn't do that with books. It's funny, like the way you're explaining that is like giving me insight into like how you approach like information or situations. Just because I know you so well, because we live together. Um, what I would do with books is probably completely unrelated to this topic stream. Is I would read the end and either be completely disappointed by it, or like I would read the end later
So you would get to the end and then stop reading the book.
and stop reading because I would imagine
Yeah.
different endings first,
Yeah.
and then I play the ending, and then it's like, okay, well that happens, and then it would just be like, like,
Yeah.
hmm, like my imagination was better than the ending of
Well, I had trouble finishing books. I think that's why I
yeah.
started reading the end just to rip the
That's
band-aid off, just to get it
funny.
over with. So then I wouldn't stop reading because there was a couple books. Let's
Hmm.
just say, I don't know. I read Lord of the Rings, the whole trilogy,
Yeah.
and I burned through that. Like it was. Let's just go back to the year 2001, wherever it was. And my brother, after the movie was already out, he got me like the trilogy book set,
Hmm.
and I was like, "This is the next story." I didn't even read the first one, which is kind of a dick move, and I just went straight for Two Towers, and I just burned through it. I was just like, so good. And then I got to the third one, and I was just like, I don't know. I think I mean, of course, the book. If you're in the know and you've read the book, it ends different, and it's the movie ends a little different. I mean, it's kind of hard to end a trilogy like that if you've read the book because the way it's written, and so it's a thing of like getting to the end of a book and then not being able to finish it
Yeah.
because I'm too attached to the characters. It's too
Hmm.
emotional to say goodbye to them. I have to like have them in my life, so I will stop reading the book just to like know that they're still around. Like the book's there, I have 40 pages left, 30, 20, 10 pages left. I'll stop reading it. And then it's like, man, I got to get to the end. I got to read the end,
Oh
and
man.
so it's just one of those things where I remember doing that to that
Yeah.
book specifically. There's a couple other books when I
I'm
was like in high school or something.
I'm connecting with you deep on that because I love books that are in series. Like if it's just a one-off book, I feel like I only get to know the characters for like so shortly. So I always gravitated toward books that had like 3 or 4 or more. Starting out when I was really young, like A series of unfortunate events. Love that.
Oh,
Um,
is that Lemony Snicket?
yeah, Lemony Snicket and Harry Harry Potter, Artemis Fowl.
Wait. Rewind. Harry Potter.
Yeah,
You read all the Harry Potter books?
all of them. Yes,
Have you seen all the movies?
I have.
Okay. Wait, no. Ding, ding, ding. We have a new game. Which one's better?
The books or the movies?
Yes.
Mm.
Harry Potter. I'll talk about Lord of the Rings. You
The
talk about Harry
books.
Potter. The
The
books.
books. Yeah,
Of
it
course.
had more
Of course,
like
the books. It's always the books.
fanciful magic, more in-depth character storytelling,
Sure.
plots. You know, just
I
like the
mean, yeah.
hearts of the
The things they cut
characters.
out,
Yeah,
maybe that are important little character building moments, I'm sure.
I mean that's the treasure of reading the books, right?
Sure. Yeah.
The
I
value
mean,
in that.
it's interesting that, I mean, as a society, and I mean, reading, it's hit or miss. It's hit or miss if people read.
Yeah.
Like, there's some people that don't even read the title to this YouTube video, but then there's other people who will read, fucking War and Peace or something like that, 10,000 pages long, and they love it. They love it. They'll read, more books like that, 10 or 12 or 13 books. And for me, it's like I read one book, I read two books. I'm kind of burned out. I don't want to read a book no more. I get tired of reading, but I think it's because I have this well, let's just say I click into this kind of like definition,
Mm.
like higher awareness where I'm like reading words. I read a whole page and I'm just like, did that say what I think it said? I don't know. I have to read it again just to make sure. And it's like a thing of double checking and making sure that I'm sure that I'm sure that I'm sure. Like it's weird.
Mm.
But once you get to the point where you're sure, you can move on. And sometimes for me, I'll have to read a chapter over and over again before I'm sure that it says that. And it kind of helps me with my memory too. It's almost like I'm
Yeah.
rereading the book as I read a book.
Are you reading a book right now? Like what book are you
I
reading right
am
now?
not reading a
I
book right
forgot.
now. I finished my last book. What was my last book? I think I mean, if you twist my arm, I will tell you the books I read. But when it comes to like one of the last books I can remember reading, it's probably like The Alchemist,
Oh yeah.
and then The Four Agreements by some really great authors. I'll probably let's see. Well, I mean Don Miguel Ruiz for The Four Agreements, and then I forget who wrote The Alchemist. Someone else really good. Let's see, the book's right there on our shelf, so I'm looking at it. I'm like, but I just see it says Alchemist, Pablo.
I don't know how to say his last name.
I don't want to mess up his last name, but the
really
author
did.
of The Alchemist. So yeah, those are like some of the last books that I've personally read, and they're good. Oh my gosh, they're so good. The Four Agreements changed my life, and maybe that could be part of the next video. I just saw the timer, and we kind of want to keep these short, so we'll talk about our book selection next. How about that? How about if you made it to this, because we know the analytics, they just die down after 30 seconds. So if you made it to 13 minutes and 25 seconds, I want you to please leave a comment, even like a emoji or a thumbs down. Do something. You don't even have to like or subscribe or nothing. I just want to like know you're out there.
Reading.
If you want to comment a book you're reading, a book that I should read, because I'm actually not reading a book right now, I will freaking go to Kindle or something, something terrible like Amazon, and just buy the book immediately, and I will start reading it. And that's if you leave a comment. I'll read all the books that you leave in the comment section. All right, so peace out, everyone, and
I'll hold them to it.
Yeah, she'll hold me to it, and then we'll make another video. We'll probably talk about more books we've read. All right, good night. Bye.
Bye.